where were you? With all this I was going through, you never took the time to ask me just what you would do. I only know that I can change, everything else just stays the same. So now I'm stuck out of the darkness that my life became, 'cause I just needed someone to talk to. You were just too busy with yourself. You were never there for me to express how I felt. I just stuffed it down. Now I'm older and I feel like I should let some of this anger fade. But it seems the surface I am scratching is the bed that I have made. Man, Stained, that freaking album Stained, the song Fade and the album Break the Cycle by Stained is hitting so differently this morning that it made me realize how much I shoved down because my father wasn't there for me when I was a kid. I remember my mother asking me, "Oh, have you called your father?" And I would be like, shouldn't my father be calling me? Shouldn't he care enough? Shouldn't he love me enough to want to call me every day and know how my day's going? Why do I have to call him? And I remember there was a summer when I had stomach issues the whole summer, and they couldn't find out what was going on. But in the beginning of the summer, my father told me he was going to pick me up and spend like a whole week with me, and he never came. And it's just kind of hitting me how much I had to be like the man of the house for my mother. I was like her sounding board, and I always felt like I had to be the strong one. You know, I was the man of the house. I had to be there for my brother and my mother. And how that affected me as I grew older, always feeling like I needed to be in control, always feeling like I needed to be the one to step up and help people and to be the savior, you know, because I felt like I was my mom's savior. You know, I'm there for her. She's going through everything that my father put her through. I pray that we can all recognize the wounds and recognize what trauma is, because trauma is not some crazy, terrible thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, some crazy thing that happened to you. Trauma is, we've all been through trauma. We need to change our definition of it and stop, because that's what I did for years. Oh, well, you know, my mom, she grew up with a drug addict who took her different places and left her places. You know, my father grew up with an abusive stepfather, and you know, he was kicked out by 15 years old. Oh, I've never been through anything like that, right? And we all tend to compare. We compare our life with others and say, oh, you know, I didn't really go through anything, right? That's what I always did. But I need to step back and realize that just because my trauma isn't as severe, you know, quote unquote severe as someone else's, doesn't mean it wasn't trauma, and doesn't mean that I don't have things to work through. So I pray that you guys, one, can be vulnerable, you know, two, the reason I share me singing is because, and I'm sorry, I'm a terrible singer, but the reason I share that is because we need to release our emotions. That was the one thing that popped to my head so much, is that this morning, right now, just allowing myself to release those emotions. Your emotions do not want to be kept in. And so many of us don't know how to deal with our emotions, so we repress them. We keep them deep inside of us, and they literally cause disease. We need to express. Emotions want to be expressed and get out of the body. So that's why I sing. That's why I scream in the morning. I cry. Almost every morning I'm crying with gratitude for life, right? But sometimes it's, for example, crying about thinking about my past and what I've been through, and how that allows me now to be a part of mentoring mentors. And now I can be a role model to these kids that many of them were just like me, didn't grow up with a father, don't have a father around, don't have a male role model around. They may have to be the man of the house like I was, right? Shaky right now. So yeah, man, I mean, please express your emotions. If you want some tips, some strategies of how to just express and get those emotions out of you, please hit me up. This is my life's purpose, is to spread love and to really help people heal. Not just financially. If you want to heal financially, if you want to get your money right, you got to get your mind right, you got to get your emotions in check. It's so much more holistic. I don't really, as someone coming from the finance industry, I do not care about setting up a well-diversified Roth IRA if you are not happy on a day-to-day basis. If you're repressing a bunch of emotions and you're not able to live your life to the fullest. That is what the financial planning that I help you do is all in the context of you living your life to the fullest, you living in your soul purpose and walking in that purpose every single day. So I believe it's impossible to do that unless you do that deeper than surface level, that inner work to learn how to express your emotions. So that's the topic of this video. To stop repressing your emotions, learn how to let them out and let them go. And that is how I found to live my life to the fullest, is to let those emotions really flow through me. I love you guys, and I'm excited for the next message.